Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In today's video I'll be looking into both friendships and relationships, more specifically the expectations, dynamics and behaviours within relationships and friendships that can have both a positive and negative influence on all involved. It is important to note that every situation is unique. However, what we will be discussing for the video today covers aspects of friendships and relationships which are very common. We firstly need to understand that there is a difference between finding someone attractive and actually falling in love with somebody. And there's also a difference in the time frame that someone can fall in love. When it comes to falling for someone, it tends to be quick and typically starts off with simply finding someone attractive or liking other obvious traits about them. Traits that one immediately picks up about a person are things like how that person presents themselves and their behavioural patterns, whether they seem relaxed, talkative or attentive, for example. After that, people tend to start falling in love with someone, usually over the course of a couple of months, after finding out more and more in-depth details about that specific person. Everyone is different, and how fast people can fall in love vary from person to person greatly. For example, if you talk a lot to a particular person, then you may start to develop feelings for them quicker than what you would have done if you only spoke to somebody now and again. I think we can all agree that the dynamic two people have as friends is drastically different when compared to the dynamic that two people have when they enter a relationship. Essentially, when you are friends with someone, it's almost like a calmer, less intense and less stressful version of a relationship, which in all honesty could possibly be the reason why some people opt for more of the friends with benefits type situation. When people are only friends, or are even in a friends with benefits scenario, their behavioural patterns are somewhat similar to a relationship, just less intense. Just like when we are in a relationship, we tend to want to avoid toxic situations and toxic people. And so therefore we set expectations for ourselves and those around us. We automatically seek out people who come across as genuine, who are trustworthy and are generally just nice people to be around. We look for people who share the majority of the same values as ourselves and who seems to appreciate us as human beings. When researching into friendship and relationship needs and wants, I was surprised to find out just how similarly we act when finding those connections. Within a relationship, it's often said that when a couple get together, one person falls in love quicker than the other. This results in, not always but sometimes, one partner using more of the common romantic relationship-driven terms, like for example, I love you, whilst the other holds back. And if the pair don't communicate their feelings and thoughts, this could be detrimental to the relationship, despite it only being in its early stages. This is similar to friendships in that one person may be more invested than the other, which without correct communication could be damaging. According to an article by Tina Gilbertson, there are some basic things one can and should expect from their relationship. The first being affection. Your partner may express this in either words, behaviour or both, but physical affection like hugging, kissing, back or foot rubs or holding hands is especially important. The article continues on to explain that your partner should like you as a person. The second basic expectation is compassion. The third is respect. Next up on the article was consideration, time, and also interest, intimacy, and generosity made the list too. These are all both natural and basic human needs and desires when it comes to relationships, and these hold the foundations in order for one to flourish. When one or more of these basics are lacking, no matter the stage the relationship is in, it could suffer. Many could argue that we should lower our relationship expectations so that we are not disappointed. However, apparently this is not the way to go. Donald Balcom, a psychology professor in North Carolina, believes that people get what they expect. So if someone has low expectations, they will receive low expectations. If someone has higher expectations, this is what they will get. And so by that logic, those with lower expectations are treated poorly compared to those with higher expectations, who tend to be treated better. When someone is in a good enough relationship, in which they feel loved and happy, They automatically hold higher standards for themselves, their relationship, and their partner, and tend not to let things negative and inappropriate pass them by. This is the complete opposite when someone is in a relationship which could be considered questionable, as they are more than likely to let bad behaviour continue. Saying all of this though, no relationship comes without arguments or some minor conflicts, and nobody should strive to be in that so-called perfect relationship. The Gottman Institute showcased an article from January 2018 about the truth of expectations in relationships. It explains that although some good expectations in your relationship is healthy, it's unrealistic to expect a relationship to heal childhood wounds or to become a pathway to spiritual enlightenment or self-actualization. Although expectations are healthy, it's unrealistic and harmful to expect too much from your partner. Now let's begin to look into the dynamic of relationships. More often than not, relationships consist of three important dynamics: power, affect, and respect. Many of us struggle with the aspect of power in relationships. And then, of course, when you struggle with power, you also struggle with control. Studies have shown that we typically enjoy influencing our partner's behaviours. However, we do not enjoy being told what to do, and we also don't enjoy being bossed around in any way. This could be because there can be a constant battle between which partner is the more dominant in the relationship. Hence, which partner has more control and more power. Moving on to affect now, which is all about how we signal our emotions across to others, and also what we use to do that through non-verbal behaviours. For example, facial expressions, eye contact, our posture, and much more. And then finally, respect, which I shouldn't have to explain. When couples do argue, research shows that it tends to have something to do with one or more of these three fundamental dynamics. And these dynamics show through when a person begins to look deeper into what the couple are arguing about. In conclusion, we can tell a lot about ourselves by simply analysing what kind of people we strive to be around and the expectations we set out for both ourselves as well as others. It's important that we set these expectations in both friendships and relationships so that we can understand ourselves and also allow other people to understand us too. Overall, this has been a really interesting topic to research, and I probably could have spoken for longer on this, but I didn't want this video to be too long for you guys watching. So with that being said, I'm going to end this video here. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.